Killers of the Flower Moon, a personal passion project for the director and writer Martin Scorsese. This is a major passion project for him. He's been trying to make this film for a very long time. It's also starring great actors, people you actually know and support who have done terrific roles working alongside with them, Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, both which are excellent actors, but also the surprising star of the whole entire movie, Lily Gladstone. The film tells a story about the Osage tribe who were brutally murdered in the 1920s. This is the gripping true story about the dark side of American history. These murders sparked a big investigation that brought the FBI into their state of Oklahoma. Before we get into the movie review, I want to talk about Palestine and everything that's happening over there. If people are not aware of what exactly the issue is, Israel has been occupying Palestine. They have made an open-air prison in Gaza. Over 2 million people live in there. Many children, women. Israel has been taking over and killing innocent kids and just putting that nation into suffering, pain, torture. All they have seen their entire lifetime. All these kids that are 14, 15 have only seen war, bloodshed, and they're dropping bombs after bombs. Gaza is, from one end to another, just 30-minute drive. It's not big. They have the West Bank closed. Gaza is a prison, and they're just bombing it. They just bombed the biggest hospital in Gaza and the oldest hospital. That hospital existed before Israel even came. Israel is an occupied land which is originally Palestine. Palestine is still there. That is Palestine, free Palestine. This movie couldn't have come out at a better time. It plays in part with everything that's happening this day. It's crazy that this movie, it hasn't been told in history, and we had to wait till Scorsese wrote it. And we had to watch it. And the story, the way it was told, so horrifically done. So much genocide, so much murder, pain, chaos, given because of greed. The white man greed. You just wanted power, control, oil. Everything could have been handed if you worked arm to arm. But the way, the manipulation, the horror that was bestowed in the Osage tribe, it saddens me. And the fact that the world has not changed in 100 years. This happened in 1920s. And in 2023, we're going through the same thing, and this time is live on Instagram, social media, Facebook, TikTok. Everybody can see it. Yet our leaders are so blind they actually support the enemy, the empire, basically. US thinks they're Superman. Israel thinks they're Superman. They're Homelander. Please educate yourself. Know the history. Know the chaos. Know the pain. Over 6,000 people have already died, and this has been happening for over 70 years. Now let's get back to Killers of the Flower Moon.
Whose land is this? My land.
Well, our war hero has arrived.
You made a good choice coming back here. Osage are the finest, wealthiest, and most beautiful people on God's earth. They outsmarted everybody.
They have the say. Who gets the oil?
Son, I got a question. You like women?
That's my weakness.
Right before heading out to Killers of the Flower Moon, I ended up twisting my ankle pretty bad. Still did not stop me from going to see this movie. And during the movie, I was drinking a lot of water. Had to pee. Held that shit for over 2.5 hours. I was not missing a moment. This movie had me right from the jump. It was massively crafted. The sets, the props, the design, the cast, everybody. Just great. The score was haunting. It kept me entertained. It kept me engaged. I did not want to turn. I did not want to blink. I was so focused in the world. It felt authentic. Killers of the Flower Moon is a 3.5 hour long movie, and every single minute and second feels justified. I felt like I did not miss a single beat. Every single moment felt it was needed to tell the story. This movie could have gone for 6 hours, and I still think I would have been entertained. The movie actually felt shorter to me than 3.5 hours. Some of you will be like, 3.5 hour long movie, how are you gonna watch that? This movie is needed because it's paced so nicely. Your patient and slow paced movie storytelling for Scorsese is a work of art. He takes his time crafting the world, crafting the character, and showing every single possible detail and making the viewer go on this journey. Even if you know exactly the horror, the untold story of this dark history of United States that have been trying to hide, because Scorsese brings it to life so beautifully. The set, the world, everything is crafted like you are watching 1920 era era. Everybody was casted well for that. You could see the greats behind me. Robert De Niro, Scorsese, Lily Gladstone, and Leo, all incredible. Everybody complimented each other, and every time they were on screen, they commanded the screen, and every single dialogue, acting, emotion, expressions, they actually visibly, they were into the characters. You could see it oozing out of them. All three of these are going to get Oscar nomination. I will be shocked if they don't, and I think Lily and Leo are going to win it. Lily carried the movie. I was not familiar with her until this point. I know she was in Certain People. I have not watched that movie, but she completely stole the show. She was on, she had screen sharing with Leo and De Niro, and she outclassed them. There's this one moment is also in the trailer where she falls on the stairs and starts crying. When I watched the movie and what led to this point and how that moment happened, it impacted me in so many ways. Her acting, the way her expressions were, the way she was looking, the narration from her point of view, everything was haunting. It was scary. Her on-screen presence was incredible. I loved every moment she was there, and she shined. Leo, there's not enough words to describe this man. He is amazing. He is a master at his craft. He falls into the character fully and he commits to it, and you can see it. There were so many moments you could pull and be like, this is the best part, this is the best part, this is the best part. But there's one moment is towards the far end of the movie. The way it was shot and presented to me, I was like, this is the reason why I love Leo. When you see this scene, you'll understand why Leo is one of the greats. And De Niro, he's 80 years old and he's still killing it. I did not feel he was 80 or his age once. He had the energy and the charm of a young 60 De Niro. Yes, young, but 20 years from 80, that's a massive difference. The film focuses on William Hill and his nephew Ernest Burkhart, the two people that are part of this hideous plot to kill and have the mass murder of the Osage people, to take the wealth, the oil, land, and the power that is their right, and just corrupt everything. And you see how they formulate this plan. He's always in the ear of Leo, who is Ernest Burkhart, and he's telling him, guiding him to do all this stuff. And then you have Leo, who's playing this guy who's in love with Mollie played by Lily. The first time they met, he took her in a cab ride. He comes back from the war. He was a cook there, and he couldn't do anything else because he got an injury. And he comes back here and he cannot do any of the heavy lifting, so he was driving a cab for his uncle. And he wants everybody, Uncle William Hill wants everybody to call him King. The plan was for him to fall in love with Mollie and then take over everything that had to do with the Osage tribe. It was such a horrible scheme that is so scary how everybody felt like this was normal. When you're seeing the movie, you see that every character that's on the other side, not the Osage, and they're watching it and acting like this is normal. They use the name of God. They say that they're God loving and God protects them and God this, and they make it seem like they're the good guys. And it's crazy to see that this was the normal back then and how much suffering and pain that was caused. And it's chilling to see that happening on screen. And then you can relate what's happening in Israel, Palestine, and it's like, man, I can't believe we have monsters like these. It's such a wild thing that you can't even classify these people as humans. Just because they breathe and they look and they have the same thing doesn't qualify them to be human. These are monsters, these are villains. And the way they showcase the struggle between love, loyalty, facing how blindly in love a person can get to completely ignore the other halves. You see this beautiful love story of Mollie and Ernest, but there's so much darkness behind it. It's such a dark feeling, eerie feeling, because you want to help. You want to tell Mollie, hey, there's so much darkness, there's so much greed, this is not good for you. Ernest, who wholeheartedly loves her, but he also loves money and has being guided by his villainous uncle who only wants pain, and he wants a power. He wants to control everything. He wants to be the king, and he's putting on this facade to be the friend of the people, the friend of Osage tribe. It is so diabolical. What type of monsters existed? You as an audience member, somebody who hasn't been taught this history, you're like, how the hell are we not talking about this? How the hell these important key factors went into making oil companies so filthy rich? The Osage tribe is the key founder, one of the key members of the big oil boom. They were one of the richest, wealthiest family in America, and this all happened, and no one talks about the dark chapter. And it took Scorsese to write it, direct it, cast it, and show the horrific light which is this side of America, and the winners get to decide the history and they write the books. It's crazy to think that a type of movie like this left a big mark, but when I think about what the realistic outcome probably was in that time, it could have been far worse, and there were probably a lot of people quiet. It makes me sad that the world still hasn't changed really. We are still seeing the power struggle, we're still seeing the imbalance, the greed, and I really pray my kid's life, our kids' lifetime, it changes and it gets better, and that this genocide, this mass murder of beautiful people, innocent people that just want to live, is being ruined and taken away by greedy monsters who think God is on their side. At its core, Killers of the Flower Moon is a story of sin. It's a harrowing portrayal of how individuals can find themselves entangled in wrongdoings without the possibility of turning back. This film serves an important historical lesson, confronting the tendencies to ignore the parts of history we rather forget. Killers of the Flower Moon is an emotional, charred exploration of a dark chapter in American history. Scorsese's masterful storytelling coupled with superb performance and a haunting score makes the film a must-watch. It's a story that lingers in your mind, serving a powerful reminder of the past we must acknowledge. There are some flaws in this movie. I wish they had subtitles more when we had the native language happening. I wanted to know. I was so involved, so committed to this movie. Even in pain with twisting my ankles while massaging the whole time, I was so committed to this movie that I wanted to know every single possible details. There were many moments they were speaking in this native tongues and I feel like I was missing out. I didn't want to miss out. I wanted to know more, and I felt that was taken away from me. This movie is a movie of the year contender. Across the Spider-Verse is another one, and so is Oppenheimer. I think these three are easily the best movie of the year so far from what I feel. All three have left a lasting impact. I love every single one of them. Every single one is individually different. Two of them are true stories, but I think when it comes to just storytelling and the way it was done, Scorsese just masterfully delivers it. I loved everything about it. The goats over here, I call these for the goats. Incredible. Lily Gladstone, she stole the show. Her portrayal of Mollie was incredible. Leo, his portrayal of Ernest, I felt like he was the character misunderstood and then stuck in the middle. And De Niro, man, 80 years old, I give you the flowers, man. There's a reason why Scorsese loves you. It's because there's no one like you that can play this in the way you do. Have you seen Killers of the Flower Moon? Share your thoughts, comment below, like and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this movie. Please pray for Palestine, free Palestine, all these innocent people. It makes me sad going on social media, but I have to see it. I have to get the message out. We cannot just stay quiet when we see another shit like the Osage shit happening, but this time we actually have information. This time we know. Don't be on the wrong side of history. Please talk to other people, let other people know, make noise so we can stop this genocide from happening. I'm Suhi. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
We got 'em watching like Netflix. We're like the fresh